In the crowded bazaars of Istanbul, Alex Carter tails a courier toward the Blue Mosque, not for sightseeing, but for a mission that could change everything. Back in Washington, Director Webb calls it Operation Crescent, a stolen plot to use chemical weapons at a NATO summit. Alex is sent in with tech support from Jake and a local asset, the mysterious Sophia Romano. In the alleys, an ambush exposes a deeper lie. The courier was baked. Sophia reveals the truth at the safe house. This is a false flag. Someone inside the Turkish government plans to frame terrorists and justify war. At Haydarpasa Port, Alex, Sophia, and a tactical team race against time. They storm the warehouse as the mastermind, Colonel Oster, confesses on live camera, broadcast by journalist Timothy. The plot collapses. Weapons secured. Oster in custody. Back in Washington, the summit goes ahead safely. Alex walks out into sunlight. Mission complete. But the shadow work never ends. The ancient marketplace of Istanbul buzzed with life as Alex Carter navigated through the crowded streets. Vendors shouted prices for spices and carpets, while tourists haggled enthusiastically. But Alex wasn't here for tourism. His earpiece crackled with Jake's voice. Alex, target is moving toward the Blue Mosque. White jacket, black backpack. Stay 20 meters back. Alex adjusted his sunglasses and followed at a careful distance. Copy that, Hawk. Any sign of backup? Negative. He seems alone, but something feels off about this whole situation. 3 days ago, Director Marcus Webb had called an emergency meeting at headquarters. The tension in the briefing room was palpable as agents gathered around the conference table. Gentlemen, ladies, Webb began, his voice grave. We've intercepted chatter about an attack plan for next week. Codename, Operation Crescent. The target is a NATO summit in Istanbul, where world leaders will gather to discuss Middle Eastern security. He clicked a remote, and a face appeared on the screen, a man in his 40s with sharp features and cold eyes. This is Hassan al-Rashid, former Syrian intelligence officer turned terrorist facilitator. Our sources indicate he's planning something catastrophic. Chemical weapons, possibly nerve agents, smuggled into the summit venue. Alex leaned forward. What's our timeline, sir? 5 days to locate al-Rashid, identify his network, and neutralize the threat. Webb's eyes settled on Alex. Carter, your lead on this. Harrison will provide tech support, and we've arranged a local asset. Alex already knew what was coming. Sophia Romano? She has connections in the Turkish underworld we need. And before you object, Carter, this comes from the top. Work with her. Martha Collins, who'd been observing from the back of the room, spoke up. Marcus, this is dangerous even by our standards. Alex will need proper backup, not just technical support. Which is why George will be on standby with a tactical team, Webb assured her. Martha and George had both served in intelligence before retiring, and their experience was invaluable. Martha, I need you coordinating communications from the Istanbul safe house. Istanbul, present day. Alex followed his target through the labyrinthine streets. The man identified as Kareem, one of al-Rashid's couriers, moved with purpose, occasionally glancing over his shoulder. He's checking for tails, Alex murmured. Jake, can you access traffic cameras ahead? I need to know where he's going. On it. Give me 30 seconds. Those 30 seconds felt eternal. Kareem turned into a narrow alley, and Alex's instinct screamed danger. He'd walked into too many ambushes to ignore that feeling. Alex, wait! Jake's warning came too late. Alex rounded the corner and found himself facing 3 armed men. But they weren't pointing weapons at him. They were pointing them at someone else. Sophia Romano stood in the center, hands raised, her expression more annoyed than afraid. Gentlemen, I think there's been a misunderstanding. she said calmly in Turkish. The leader barked something aggressive. Alex didn't need translation to understand the threat. He had seconds to act. Drawing his concealed weapon, Alex fired 2 shots into the air. The distraction was enough. Sophia dropped and swept the legs of the nearest attacker, while Alex charged forward, disarming another with a precise strike. The fight was brutal but brief. Within 90 seconds, all 3 men were unconscious on the ground. Sophia stood, brushing dust from her jacket. Carter, always the hero making a dramatic entrance. What are you doing here, Romano? Alex demanded, not lowering his weapon entirely. This wasn't the meeting point. I was following Kareem too. Looks like we had the same intel. She gestured to the unconscious men. These aren't Al-Rashid's people, though. Wrong tattoos, wrong weapons. Someone else is interested in Kareem. Jake, we need an extraction now. Alex spoke into his calm. And run facial recognition on these 3. Already on it. Van's 2 blocks away. Martha wants a status update. She's worried. Safe house 2 hours later. The Istanbul safe house was a modest apartment overlooking the Bosphorus. Martha had it set up like a mini command center, with multiple monitors displaying intelligence feeds and satellite imagery. Alex, thank God. Martha embraced him as he entered. When Jake said there was an altercation, I nearly had a heart attack. George emerged from the kitchen carrying coffee. The boy can handle himself, dear. I've trained him well enough. He handed cups to Alex and Sophia. Though I am curious about our unexpected guest. Sophia Romano, she introduced herself. I'm here on contract with NATO intelligence. George's military instincts remained sharp despite retirement. And what exactly were you doing following our target independently? Before Sophia could answer, Jake burst through the door with his laptop. We've got a problem. Big problem. Those 3 attackers? They're Turkish intelligence. MIT agents. The room fell silent. That makes no sense, Alex said. Why would Turkish intelligence attack Sophia? Unless... He turned to her. What aren't you telling us? Sophia set down her coffee, her expression serious. Al-Rashid isn't the real threat. He's a decoy. Someone inside the Turkish government is planning the attack and using Al-Rashid as a scapegoat. Martha's eyes widened. A false flag operation? Exactly. The real mastermind wants to blame the attack on Syrian terrorists to justify a military response. But the actual weapons are being moved by someone with government access. Alex's mind raced. Jake, get Director Webb on secure line. Now! Within minutes, Webb's face appeared on the monitor, his expression grim as Sophia presented her evidence: intercepted communications, financial transfers, warehouse manifests. This is authenticated? Webb asked. Verified through 3 independent sources. Sophia confirmed. The chemical weapons are in a warehouse near Haydarpasa Port. They'll be moved to the summit location tomorrow night. Webb made a decision. Carter, you have authorization to proceed. Romano's intel is solid. We've been cross-referencing it with CIA reports. But you'll need to move fast. The Turkish government can't know about this until we approve. George stood up, his military bearing returning. I'll mobilize the tactical team. We'll need explosives experts to safely neutralize chemical weapons. Martha, coordinate with local assets, Webb ordered. And Carter? Bring everyone home safe. Haydarpasa Port the next night. The warehouse loomed against the dark sky, containers stacked like metal mountains. Alex, Sophia, and George's 4-man tactical team moved silently through the shadows. Jake, status on security systems? Alex whispered. Disabled. You've got a 10-minute window before backup systems engage. There are 6 guards inside, and thermal imaging shows large containers in the central bay. They entered through a side door. The warehouse reeked of oil and salt water. Alex signaled for the team to spread out, each moving to their assigned position. The central bay opened before them, and there sat 3 military-grade containers marked with hazmat symbols. "Bingo," George muttered. "Those are Soviet-era VX nerve agent containers. Enough to kill thousands." But before they could approach, lights flooded the warehouse. A voice echoed from the speakers. "Did you really think it would be this easy, Agent Carter?" A man stepped from the shadows. Colonel Mehmet Ozturk of Turkish intelligence, the same face Alex had seen in classified briefings. Beside him stood a dozen armed soldiers. "You've been quite the nuisance," Ozturk continued. "But it ends here. My government will thank me when this attack succeeds, and we finally have justification to expand our military operations." Alex's team was surrounded, but he noticed something. Emily Parker, the journalist who'd been in Istanbul, researching a story, stood on a catwalk above them with a camera. "Emily, what are you doing here?" Alex called out. "My job, Carter. Recording everything." She held up her camera, its red light blinking. "This is streaming live to news organizations worldwide. Say hello, Colonel Ozturk." The colonel's face went pale as he realized his entire confession had been broadcast. In the chaos of his panic, Alex's team moved. George and his men disarmed the nearest soldiers while Alex and Sophia took down Ozturk's personal guards. The fight was intense but professional. Within minutes, Ozturk was in custody, the weapons secured, and Turkish authorities were rushing to the scene. The honest ones, at least. Epilogue, Washington, D.C. A week later, Alex sat in Webb's office as news reports played on the television. Ozturk's arrest had caused a political earthquake, but the summit had proceeded safely, and reforms were underway in Turkish intelligence. "Good work, Carter," Webb said. "All of you. Martha, George, your coordination was flawless. Romano, your intelligence saved thousands of lives." Sophia smiled. "Does this mean I get that full-time position you've been dangling?" "We'll talk," Webb said, but his expression suggested approval. Martha hugged Alex tightly. "You scared me half to death, but I'm so proud of you." George clapped him on the shoulder. "You did well, son." Jake grinned. "And Emily got a Pulitzer nomination for her coverage. You should call her, by the way. She's been asking about you." Alex smiled, pulling out his phone. Maybe it was time for some of that normal life Jake kept mentioning. As he stepped outside headquarters into the sunshine, Director Webb's voice called after him. "Carter, take the weekend off. You've earned it. But Monday morning, I've got something in Prague that needs your attention." Alex nodded. The work never stopped, but neither did the purpose behind it. Somewhere in the world, people needed protecting. And that's exactly what he continued doing. Yendi. For those who stand watch in the darkness, so others may live in the light.